Hi everyone, Stephen here. We're back again. If you want to stick around and see how I'm going to fix this, let's go and take a peek. Hopefully it comes up on the camera. There we go. That gaping hole right there, apart from me just slapping a patch on it. Stick around. That's the rear floor extension on the passenger side. I could just throw a patch on it, but we're going to try and fabricate something. So let's see how that works out. Stay tuned. Bye-bye. So everybody, there's the passenger side hole that we gotta fix. On the driver's side, I cleaned it up. It's already, this one here is good. So fortunately it wasn't rusted. So I'm gonna try, let's zoom in a little bit maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna try and make this piece here. I'm gonna try and stamp out something like this just to get that shape. I don't have a shrinker, stretcher, or brake or anything like that. So I came up with a couple ideas. So what I did is, out of wood, I cut out a shape. That's the inside of that. Right? And then I got another piece of wood, and that's basically the outside. Okay. So here we have our outside measurements, and then we have the inside. Outside, inside, right? And that's kind of what I did. Now let's walk over here and see why that's important. Oh, let me grab my gloves here. Okay. I did try something else out, and it was a complete disaster. I'll show you that one now. Didn't work out too well. Nope, that didn't work out too well. So everyone, this is what I fabricated from my stamp. I remember I mentioned actually carved out the shape using just a normal piece of wood here. This is actually maple. I had a lot of that laying around. So there's the small version right there. There's pine on it as well. And then the larger version. So what I did is I put the small one in there, traced it out. You see the marks. And then I used my trusty grinder with the cutting wheel to cut it out. Then I did the same thing over here on another plate. I cut that one out. Then you'll notice, so this would be the stamp that I cut out, all right? From here, from the small one, I reinforced this part here because I didn't want it bending up. Then you'll notice over here, I guess this would be the female portion of it. I've got the 3/8 plate metal here. I put in another 3/8 just spacers. That's all it really is. It's just spacers, what's left over from what I cut out, which piece? This piece here. Then I got another 3/8 down at the bottom here, right? So basically 3/8 at the bottom, 3/8 in the spacer, 3/8 here. So if the stamp goes all the way down, I have 3/4 of an inch of a depression, which is overkill, what I need. But I figure if I get down to 1/2 inch, I'm good, right? And then what I'll do is, you see I've got some holes drilled. I'll put the bolts in. I can't do this with one hand. I'll put the bolts in from underneath, or I'll come in from the top, right? So my plate will come on top like this. It'll go over the bolts. This one's already been kind of a test run that I did on an older model. I'll put this on top. Let me grab this. It's kind of hard. It's heavy with one hand. There we go. And I'll line all this up and clamp it down. Okay? So the bolts will be here. Sorry, here, here, and here. And I'll show you, I'll assemble all this, and I'll show you how it looks like. And I'm going to probably drop it on top of the vise here, and then we'll start tightening down. Okay? So we'll see you back in a bit once I get everything all assembled and set up. All right, I have it assembled. I got it all clamped up, got everything in place, kind of snugged down. Decided to put it in my vise this time around. Hopefully you guys get a good clear picture of this. And what I'm going to do now is just kind of slowly, I'll use the impact driver, but not all the way. Let's do a little bit, just to snug her up. You can see it's moving in slowly. That bolt just snapped. I'm willing to bet, or that thing just stripped. There we go. I think that bolt snapped, or it's stripped. Yeah, it's not catching anymore. I'm not going to do any more on that. I'm just going to leave it. Let's show you how far it got in. So it did get past the 3/8 over there. All right, so it could be close to 1/2 inch down, almost on this side. I may be able to form that with a hammer, and then it gradually goes up over here, which I can live with, to be honest with you, if it stays like that. So what does it look like under here? Doesn't look too bad under there. I'm gonna let this sit for a little while. So we're back. I actually stainless steel bolts snapped, so I replaced them with these grade 8 cap bolts. Apparently they're supposed to be have a lot more tensile strength, a lot stronger. So I'm just going to start slowly cranking it. It's not too bad. And let's see what happens. I got a wrench on the other side of this, so I'll have to keep moving the wrench. Yep, knew that was going to snap. But she went quite a bit, to be honest with you. I say we take it apart and see how it looks. So I'll probably crank this up on fast forward mode so you folks don't have to sit through the whole thing. Die press without a press. Would have been much simpler if I had a hydraulic press, to be honest with you folks. See the holes again from the bolts. Again, I can weld that up easy enough. Sorry for getting in front of the camera. It actually turned out pretty good. Well, came out pretty darn good. So now I got to fit this into here, right? Obviously I got some trimming to do. Let me back up a second here. You'll see I cleaned everything up. There'll be a lap joint over here. So that's why I got the copper weld through primer. Then I'm going to do butt welds all along type of thing, wherever it's not rotten. You'll see I cut out some stuff. I got some more cutting to do here, but I may be able to cut out all that and do a butt weld. There's a frame rail right here. Okay, so I may have to remove all this piece and stuff, but let me get this thing cut to size. I did make it bigger, right? So let me get it cut to size and then bring his back and take from there. The other one's over there. It's a bit dirty, but so I'll see you folks back in a bit. So she's all welded in now. Some spots not the greatest weld. I had to put a patch in over here. There was a lot of pinhole rots and stuff like that. But it's all in. Again, it's a butt weld at the top here. Sorry, it's a lap joint at the top and butt welds everywhere else. For the most part, just gotta grind up and paint, or prime, I should say, right? So the next time you folks will see it, will be all grinded down, any pinholes filled and primed. The pinholes, I'll put a flashlight underneath the car and just make sure I don't see anything on the light coming through. Pretty straightforward. So you folks will see it again in YouTube land just in a few seconds. Me, a little bit longer than that. So we were back, and I grinded it all down and filled in the little holes where the bolts were. You can kind of see them over there. And I grinded it down again. I didn't grind it flush because you can still see some of the outlines of the welds, right? But flush enough. It's a floor, right? But there's the driver's side. That's factory. This is not. So I'm actually rather pleased with the way they came out. It's not too bad at all, to be honest with you. So let me just flip the camera around. So that's pretty much it. I replaced the rear floor extension on the Mustang. Hit that subscribe button if you stuck around for so long. I really appreciate you doing that. Hit that subscribe button if you want to, if this is kind of the stuff you're interested in. If you enjoyed this, you found it slightly entertaining, or just hit that like button as well. It helps us content creators as well. A couple of things I've learned on this. Again, you've probably seen some stuff as we're going through the video, but again, if you're going to do something like what I'm doing, it's stamp press. If you got a hydraulic press, beautiful. You're rocking and rolling. I don't have one. I couldn't justify the cost of getting one for this one-off piece. The other thing too, if you're going to do something like what I did with bolts, I learned, I just bought some off-the-shelf bolts at their box store. Again, they snap pretty quick. I replaced them with stainless steel. Again, they lasted longer, but again, they didn't quite cut it, which I was actually shocked with. But anyways, I got some grade 8 bolts, grade 8 cap bolts, from what I understand, cap, CAP. That did the job, obviously. If I had to do this all over again, I would make sure I'd started out with the metal, the cap bolts. Something very. I may have gone with a 1/2 inch bolt, to be honest with you, and I wouldn't have had all the issues that I had. But the main thing, it's in. It looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. Kind of looks factory, right? You know, better than just slapping in a patch. So that's it, folks. Again, thanks a lot for sticking around. Hit that subscribe button. And again, if you enjoyed it, hit that like. I do have some other videos coming up. Next one will more than likely be subframe connectors. So stay tuned for that. Thanks again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.